they still gotta play us. Let's go, baby. Woo!
Hey, don't run that ball on the one hover, showed you how that go down. Feeling like Santino, tell him we want all the smoke now. We ain't snooping that commercial, we don't put no smoke down. Plus we back and you can't hide, so it ain't nowhere safe to go now. We always gon' turn up in that jungle every time. How we ain't gon' win when we loaded in with 9? Plus T just came in signed, so the city gon' be fine. Jamar say he open every time and he ain't never lied. Look at how we win at it, the size of the old line. Giving Burrow extra time should be a federal crime. Hey, we right back on that path again. Put the division back to the test, they won't pass again. Orlando and Trent Brown, that's the Tower Twins. Feel like we only getting better as we stacking wins.
And we stacking.
Giuseppe in for 6, that's a gritty again. AFC North battles getting gritty again. It's Yoshi's second year and we just brought Burton in. Vaughn back to ring some bells, get the cracking again.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the show. This is Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm your host, Iceman Jeff Trunapole, and it's always about your sports from a West Side point of view, right here in the great city of Cincinnati, Ohio, home of some of the best wings around. That's right, it's Midwest Best Barbecue. Now, if you guys are wondering, Sunday afternoon, we, meaning me and a couple of our friends, along with the greatest running back in Bengals history, soon to be Ring of Honor member Corey Dillon, will be at Midwest Best Barbecue. So I don't exactly know the time, but it will be sometime in the afternoon. And I know Robert and those guys will be having some Corey Dillon hats out there you can buy. Corey will be there. I'm not sure how long we'll be out there, but we will be enjoying some delicious Midwest Best wings. Corey's going to try the Dillinator wings for the first time. I've had them. They're freaking delicious. And I ask the same question every single day. Have you tried Midwest Best yet? And if you haven't, why the hell not? Get out to Midwest Best. Tell Tim and Nicole I sent you. Also, the show is brought to you by Meyer Windows and Doors. Check them out at www.meyercincinnati.com for all your window and door needs. I got them in my house. I highly recommend you get it in your house. And the West Side peeps, you guys look for a great little bar to go watch the game. Check out Hail Mary's. It's right in the heart of Cheviot. It's your ticket to the game. They have free parking. It's right across the street. They have beer specials, food trucks, and a big-ass TV screen, and just a great environment. Go check out Hail Mary's, your ticket to the game. And this Monday, so the show's going to be a little different, because it's be coming from the Mercedes-Benz of Fort Mitchell at Moorline Lager House pregame experience. So, you want tickets to that? You better get them quick. They are only $75, but it is open bar, people. Two of the greatest words in the English language, open bar. Also, a wonderful buffet. I'll tell you, last time we had crab cakes, we had shrimp. It is high-end stuff, along with some chicken wings. That's the West Side feel to it. So, again, check it out, Mercedes-Benz of Fort Mitchell at Moorline Lager House. The pregame experience starts 3 hours before the game, so it's probably going to start around 5 o'clock. Come there. Like I said, 99% Corey Dillon's going to be there. I will be there, and Bengals Captain will be there. A couple other people. You never know who's going to show up. Again, $75. Check out all of Moorline Lager's social media pages and everything. The links for the tickets are there, and I also have them on my social media too. After that, the very next night, I'll be right back there for the 4th week in a row, doing a live sports talk at Moorline Lager House. We do it every Tuesday during football season, 6 to 8. The happy hour is extended from 3 to 9 o'clock. So get there early, hang out, have some fun. You can have $5 drafts, house wines, well drinks, and $2 off appetizers. And you get to hang out with me. We can talk some football, because we're going to be talking about a Bengals win. And we'll be talking about what a great time we had with Corey Dillon. And you guys maybe could hear some insight. Maybe if Corey, I don't know how long Corey's staying in town, maybe I can get him to show up there again. But I'm not sure what time he's leaving. Either way, it's going to be an absolute blast. I cannot freaking wait for this weekend. I'm telling you, it's going to be so much fun. What's up to everybody in the chat? Let's see who's first. Stranger's in there first. No, my bad. Brad's in there first, then Stranger, then Crip. Paul Painter's in there, Tony Blaze is there, and you didn't hear the alarm clock. I hit the button before the alarm clock went off. Jerome's in there, or Jeremy's in there. John Hinkle, Robert, what's going on? And Jerome, you are in there. What is going on? All right, guys, we have one of the best guys, I think, to follow on the internet as far as breaking down offensive line and offensive line play and just general plays for the Bengals. He's Bengals Sands. If you guys do not follow him, I highly recommend you do. Anyway, here's Mike, Bengal Sands. Sands, what's going on, my brother?
Hey, how's it going?
Good, man. Good. I am fired up for this weekend. I cannot freaking wait. I think the Bengals are. I don't know, dude. Maybe I'm over optimistic. I think they're going to blow the doors off the Commanders. Now, with that being said, we do have to have some talk about the defensive line. BJ Hill and Sheldon Rankins did not practice today, so that does, our run defense hasn't been that great, and this doesn't bode well to them possibly playing on Monday. Nobody said they're out or anything. But what's your thoughts on the defensive line, the way it is and potentially could be?
Well, I think that would be the one place to start that you're not optimistic, right?
Right. That's the one place I'm not. Yeah. Other than that, everything's roses. But the defensive line, we'll see.
Yeah, you're down to your fifth and sixth defensive tackles as your starters. You sign a guy. Usually guys are free agents at this point because they don't have a lot left in the tank. Now, I hope Lawrence Guy does. When I watched him, I think 2 years ago, I thought he still looked pretty good, but that was 2 years ago.
Right.
Yeah, he was 31 then when I was watching. Now he's 34 because we're in season. We'll see. I think there's ways that they've done to protect them. I think Coach Anarumo's done a really good job of trying to protect those guys. I think that he knows that it's a weak point right now, especially when it's not Rankins and Hill out there. And he'll do some stuff where it's just move those guys around. Don't make them just take on those blocks. Make them, make the offensive line have to think about who they're picking up, slant them, stunt them, whatever else. So I think that he can help them out a bit, and he has done that. But at the same time, it's going to be – I think Washington's game plan is also probably going to be try to run the ball, limit possessions, just like New England did, and try to win with sound football. I also think Washington's defense probably can't keep up with that, but that's a whole different discussion. Like New England was always talking about as the first pick, but their defense was always pretty good. I think offensively, yeah, but yeah, we'll see. Washington, they got to stop the run there and put Jane Daniels in third and long situations. I think that would be the key for the Bengals defense. Just get off the field. Get off the field when you can and make tackles. I've been impressed with Anarumo so far this year. I think he can do a lot to protect those defensive tackles, but it's clearly a weakness if you're just looking on paper.
Now, one thing that I've said that a good way to stop a team from running on you is get out early and make them chase you. And if we can get up by 2 touchdowns pretty quickly, that pretty much takes the run game out of it. So I think that's – and I go back to this, the coin flip. And who cares about the coin flip? But, I mean, honestly, if you look at it this way and you feel that you want to get out and get ahead first and make them chase you, I think it's an important thing is if the Bengals take the ball first, especially with the energy at the stadium, the way it's going to be, the Ring of Honor, all that stuff. And they come out in the offense and they go down there and they take the ball and stuff it down their throat the first drive, get up by hopefully 6 points, or excuse me, hopefully 7 points, maybe 3, but just get out there and make them have to chase you. I think that's a good game plan as far as not only to win the game, but just because of the lack of depth on our run defense and the problems we've been having with them here.
Yeah, I agree. 100%. Just you need to get out in a lead when you want to make the other team pass the ball, obviously. So that's going to be the other key to the game. One key, stop the run when the game's in a neutral game script, game's close, maybe Washington right there with them. But once you get to a 2-possession lead, that goes out the window. So get out there, score a touchdown on that first drive. Because the real issue with the Patriots too, punt, first 3 drives, 3 and out too. And so that defense is getting tired. They're out there 4 times in the first quarter or whatever. That's tough. So I wouldn't give Washington the chances to try to run the ball. Just get your best plays out there, hit your shot play early, and just get out to a lead. Just get out to a lead and make them throw the ball because Noah Brown's on that side. And for some reason, a superstar against the Bengals. Only the Bengals.
Right.
But, yeah. So maybe they have some juice in the passing game, but I don't think I'd be as worried about that as I would them just controlling the clock and trying to play ball possession.
Pork Chop here says, he's got a good point. He said, don't sleep on Daniels. Brissett ran all over us. Daniels is a dynamic runner very fast. Yeah, and like I said, the run game or run defense does worry me. It was one of my biggest worries this offseason because I don't think they necessarily did enough. I hate to say it, we haven't seen Chris Jenkins yet. He did practice today. So hopefully he's got to play. I mean, if Jenkins doesn't play and B.J. Hill and Rankins don't play, they don't have that. They have very little there. So Chris Jenkins to me is key. He's got to play a lot this Monday. So what is your thoughts on let's just say Rankins and B.J. Hill don't play? What would be your strategy as far how to take care of that run defense?
I think you have to treat Daniels a little different than you treat Brissett. I think part of the reason that Brissett ran all over the Bengals defense was they didn't really treat him like he was a running threat. So Daniels, I think anybody who goes into a game against that guy is going to treat him like a rushing threat. And so far in the NFL, they've done that. So whether that's a spy, keeping your gaps, integrity, they should be ready with the way that they play Lamar Jackson.
Right. You think so?
Yeah.
And Patrick Mahomes. I mean, they kept him in the pocket for the most part. I mean, I know he did make some plays, but it wasn't like he ran all over us.
Yeah. So they should be able to do that. It doesn't need to be a traditional spy out of the coverage. You can just have defensive tackles, whoever, just mirror their guy. And if he tries to go left, you follow him. You're not really rushing. You're just trying to stand there. So once he moves, once he moves, you chase him down. So I think they'll treat him with more respect than they treated Brissett. I mean, Lamar's had some games, but also Lamar's a better, at this point, passer than Daniels is. Daniels is still growing as a rookie. Watching him, he's still missing some open stuff, and he's choosing to run a little bit more than he's choosing to throw when things get a little haywire, not keeping his eyes upfield. So there's some ways that you can kind of attack Daniels that you weren't able to with Lamar. And I think the difference with him and Brissett is just Brissett's not a dynamic runner. He was able to kind of move the chains and do everything that way to keep their drives alive, but you don't treat him the same way you treat Daniels.
Right. Yeah, Brissett, a lot of his that I noticed was Trey Henderson would get up the field and Rankins and B.J. Hill weren't there, and he just stepped up and ran there. And I noticed this week that I think they had more, in my opinion, you know more than I do, I think they had more gap control when against Patrick Mahomes, or he couldn't step up as easily as Brissett did.
Yeah, and I think also it seemed like when Hendrickson was winning, it was not always around the outside. I think he pretty much always won around the outside in week one. This time, his sacks came when he was able to bull through him and go inside, where he's able to, and there was an outside one too, but where it seems like bull through him, go inside, that's harder to escape, and especially when you're coming clean. Right. When you get pushed around the back of the pocket, but you're there, you can get a hand on the guy. That's a little bit different of a pressure than it is to run that guy over and then go get a full body shot on that quarterback.
Yeah, now Robert here brought up Bell here. So Bell has a back issue. I mean, he practiced sparingly. It's the first practice of the week. I wouldn't look too much into it. He said once that means we could see more battle, which we could. I mean, it depends on how Bell's back goes. But like I said, I went to the bridge today, and I'm sitting there like, Sands, like I went to the bridge and there was no security guard up there. I'm like, oh, this is cool. I'm like, sweet. I was like, maybe they trust me. They know I'm not going to video anything or something. Then all of a sudden, the media leaves because all they do is special team stuff. The media leaves, and all of a sudden, all the Bengals start walking toward me. I'm going, what the heck's going on? I'm like, are they coming to get me or something? Nope, they all started walking and going to the indoor practice facility. I'm like, take me with you. So I didn't get to see much of practice. I just got to see the special team stuff. But yeah, Bell did come up with a hurt back. So like I said, what do you think? I think it's more find out later on in the week.
Yeah, I don't think we know anything. Leaving at practice, never a good sign, but doesn't mean he's out. Doesn't mean he's in. I do think if he's out, I mean, Battle should play. If he doesn't play in that scenario,
when's he going to play?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He's not the third safety. He's not the first. If he's not the first safety off the bench for Bell, it's going to be tough to figure out when do they play Battle. Is there something there that we don't know about? But
right.
We'll see.
We'll find out. Dustin Crawford here. He says, Sands, seems like the NFL wide front office overview their own weaknesses or don't take it as seriously as fans do. Example, our run D. Do understand it's hard to solve for everything, but do you have any thoughts on it?
I don't think the Bengals did enough to shore up their run defense. I think that Lou Anarumo's doing a good job of masking a little bit. I also think let's not get too far ahead of ourselves with it too, because they've been without, McKinley Jackson and Chris Jenkins, who are supposed to be some additions to this run defense.
Right.
They haven't had them all year. So it's not like they went into the year, just added Rankins, lost Reader, and said, let's go. They lost Reader, and I don't think they did enough to replace him, but they also did add a couple of rookies.
They did not. That was my biggest problem with the whole thing. Is like they didn't do enough. I mean, I like Rankins. I would have liked Rankins and BJ Hill with DJ Reader.
Yeah,
that would have been awesome. But they didn't, and I know they were counting on McKinley Jackson. They're not saying they're counting on McKinley Jackson to replace DJ Reader, but I think they were counting on him to take some snaps and develop him and stuff. And we haven't seen. I mean, he got hurt at the beginning of training camp. We haven't seen him since then. So I think that was part of their plan. But what's your? I ask you, what's your thoughts on McKinley Jackson? Do you think he has the potential? Not, and I don't want to say replace DJ Reader, because I don't think anybody can replace him. But what's your thoughts on him from what you have seen in college and what little bit we saw in training camp?
He was interesting because he wasn't a nose tackle that kind of took on double teams and won that way. He kind of shot upfield, and Texas A&M was asking him to do that. I think it's a little bit of a questionable fit for him as Reader. But if they want to just get him to shoot upfield and penetrate that way, I think he can do that. We'll see. I want to see him in a regular season NFL game. I think that's where you really get the best, evaluation, not when he's doing college stuff and when he's not in practice. So it's been tough that he hasn't been out there, but we'll see. I wasn't the biggest fan. I thought it was a little bit of a reach, but I also felt like they might have needed to, because when Tavondre Sweat went, what else was out there at nose tackle? That
was the thing. Yeah, I really would have loved them to get Sweat. And that was the thing, is they reached because he was the best for that position, and who was left on the board, he was the best guy out there. So, yeah, they did reach, but it was a need. So that's where, to me, the need exceeded the reach, I guess, is the way I would look at it.
It's also where you just wish in free agency they signed some type of stopgap nose tackle, because they didn't really.
Or just keep DJ Reader. That would have been great.
Well, yeah, that'd be the biggest one, but
I would have loved that.
Played week 2. So.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Pork Chop here says, if I get my mouse over here to work, he says, I hope Jenkins plays, but I don't expect much out of him the first game. So I asked him, actually, when he was walking to practice, I said, do you think you're going to play? He said, I hope so. And he had his hand wrapped in a big club on his hand. And I was like, dude, all you got to do is, I said, just get around people, just bop him in the head with the club. So, but the thing is, I did, before they went into the practice facility, doing the tackle dummies, they grab them and push it. He was grabbing it and pushing it up with that freaking club, and his hand was. I didn't. Maybe he had some fingers coming out. I don't know, but I thought that was pretty damn impressive to be able to do that with his thumb messed up like it was. So to me, that little bit, and honestly, I know nothing at all. It's just me looking at from the bridge. That to me was encouraging that he could do that. I have no idea how to practice or anything, but. Christian, how much of an impact do you think he could make? I know it's a rookie, it'd be his first game, it's Monday night, it'd be a big thing, but we need him.
I would guess he's probably going to be the best defensive tackle, which also says a lot about who's behind him.
Right.
But I would think that he comes in and plays solid. That's what I would expect. I don't expect him to tear it up. I don't expect him to be like the key to getting more pressure outside of Hendrickson, but I think he can go out there and just be a pro. I think he just looks solid against the run. That's what I would look for. And maybe he can do a little bit of the contained stuff. He's a pretty good athlete himself and young. So I don't have sky-high expectations, but I do think that he can go out there and look solid, and that would be the best defensive tackle that they have if Rankins and Hill can't go.
Absolutely. Now, if the Rankins and Hill can't go, like Robert said, will we see Rodgers get a call from the practice squad or anybody else from the practice squad? I would assume so, because they're going to need bodies.
I would think you need 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if Rankins and Hill, they're calling somebody up, so I would think that. What's your thoughts on Tufele? I think he's actually played pretty good. I've liked him a lot. I mean, he's not dominant or anything, but he's been there. He's been consistent, I think.
I think he's a roller coaster. Sometimes he makes a really cool play, and sometimes he's getting tossed around a little bit. So I don't mind him. I think I like him more than Carter, but I thought he was solid week 1, and then week 2 was the roller coaster experience where sometimes he was pretty impressive on that goal line stop with Rankins, and then he also had some plays where he was on the ground. So you don't like to see that as a defensive tackle. I like him, but I just need the consistency, because he to me right now is kind of like a lower end Larry Ogunjobi, where Ogunjobi would do that too. Ogunjobi would show up, he'd get 2 sacks in a game. But also in that same game, he would probably be the reason that a couple of big runs hit. So I need a little bit more to be an Ogunjobi type, but I think I like him more than his running mate so far.
Yeah, what's your thoughts on Zach? Has he improved at all from last year?
Thought he was okay week 1. Week 2, I didn't see it, and it's a tough opponent. It's a tough opponent week 2, so it makes sense that both of them played worse when you're moving from the Patriots' interior offensive line to 3 Pro Bowl, All-Pro level players on the interior offensive line. Yeah. I don't think either one really held up very well. But Zach Carter putting together one solid game, it gives you enough hope that, the Commanders' offensive line isn't all-stars. Maybe you can think that way of Sam Cosmi, but definitely not the other two. Right. So maybe he does a better job of holding up. It's more Patriots-like than it is Chiefs-like for him.
Dustin, he's got 2 questions. I'll go with this one first. Sands, I'm a football junkie, college and NFL. I do have a huge concern. He's asked this before. Huge concerns of the quality of play the last 3 years. 70% of the games are unwatchable. Do you share similar concerns? He always says at the beginning of the year, he asks me this all the time. He's like, he's right. I mean, the play at the beginning of the year is not as good as it used to be at the beginning of the year. I think because they don't do as much in training camp. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, it was around 2011 that they put in the new practice mandate. You couldn't do a certain stuff, and then it's gotten worse since. I feel like training camps just get lighter and lighter, and then the product offensively that comes out is sloppier and sloppier. Last year, we went through the same thing where everybody kind of freaked out, like, oh my God, offensive scoring is so down. It's so down. And then by the time you get midseason, offensive scoring, it's not up, but it looks passable. It looks solid. I think you could see like around average by like week 7, week 8. It just takes offenses longer to catch up than it does defenses for whatever reason. Not concerned about games being unwatchable. For me, I'm still enjoying it. So maybe it's just.
I'll watch football. I'll watch college of, Sisters of the Poor versus whoever. I freaking love football, especially beginning of the year. I watch it all the time. But yeah, it is. I don't want to say concerning, but I mean, I think another problem is the coaches are so concerned with getting players hurt, and that's the thing. I don't. Every time when I was taught to play sports, you don't play it to protect yourself. You don't play it like, I don't want to do this because I'm going to get hurt. And that's what I keep hearing in all the training camps. Well, we're taking it easy on them. We don't want anybody to get hurt. Yeah. And that permeates throughout the league that, that's why I think it takes a little while to get that out of your head, to just go out there and play sometimes.
Yeah, I think that's true. I mean, just get out of your head, go out there and play, run on instinct,
That would help, but I mean, hey, what do I know? I'm just a guy with a stupid podcast, so. So, all right, let's go to the offensive line, which I think they've done, pretty well here in the first 2 weeks. What's your thoughts on the offensive line? Who's been standing out? And Mims is practicing. How long till you think he's our starting right tackle, or are we going with Trent Brown till Trent Brown gets hurt or can't play, or what?
I think Orlando Brown's been the standout for me. I think he's been really good. He's been really solid in pass protection. For his size, he doesn't always move guys in the run game like you'd expect. But with this team, it's more important to protect Joe Burrow. I think when it comes to Mims, Brown hasn't lived up to what I expected and what some people expected watching him in New England. Right. And he kind of did this last time he left New England. So I do think you could see Mims before Brown has any type of injury or anything, but he did pick up his play from week 1 to week 2. Just looks like maybe the injuries have taken a toll. He's not the same level player that you may have expected, talking about like a top 5-10 right tackle in the league. You're not seeing that right now, but I do think he's not a liability. He's okay out there. So if he's just okay, and you feel confident Mims can be okay, you make the switch so Mims gets live reps and can get better.
Where are you at? Do you think Mims, if you put him in right now, he would be at the same level as Trent Brown, or do you think he'd be a notch below him?
Yeah, I think he'd be at the same level for how Brown's played so far. I don't think Brown's put up like the highest of bars for himself, And Mims, to me, looked pretty refined in college for a guy that only started like 8 games.
Yeah, exactly. I was impressed with him. To put to you honestly, if Mims doesn't get hurt, I think he's starting day one. To be honest, that's where I was at with him because Trent Brown wasn't practicing or playing in training camp, and Mims looked really good. And his ceiling is so high. I think. I mean, he could be one of the most athletic right tackles in football. I mean, his feet are unbelievable. Just talk about his athletic ability and how high his ceiling could be.
Yeah, I thought he had all pro potential. I think if he played every game in college, you'd be talking about a top 5 pick, but he didn't.
Absolutely.
So the Bengals got him on a discount. So you just hope for health and hope that he can play all of these games better than, more than he did in college. But I think the potential is sky high. I don't think he has he's near his potential right now, but I think he could come in right now and give you solid play. And then there is the potential of being, an all pro level tackle.
Now, T. Brookie here says, is Trent Brown better or worse than L. Collins?
In my opinion, he's played better than Collins did so far. I wasn't the biggest fan of what Collins did. I felt like Collins' injuries, he's just so limited when he got to Cincinnati. It seemed like the back, the legs, they were just shot. And he couldn't hold up for more than 2, maybe 2.25 seconds. He wasn't really giving you 2.5. He definitely wasn't giving you 3. When it came to pass protection. He could kind of move guys a little better in the run game when he got going forward. But Trent's also been pretty good people mover himself so far this season.
Now, what's your thoughts on the interior line with Ted Karras, Volson, and Kappa? How they look this year?
I would say I think Kappa last week had some issues, and I'm not at the point where I'm that concerned, but I don't know if you can expect to see Kappa give you the same level play he did 2 years ago. I think he might just be a little bit downturned from that. I think Ted Karras has looked solid like he always has in Cincinnati, and Volson was up and down. I thought he was all right week 1, and then week 2 he was probably, in my opinion, the worst performer on the offensive line. So we'll see how that continues, but it's a big test this week. You talk about the Washington team. One of their biggest strengths is that defensive tackle room. You've got John Allen and Daron Payne and other young guys ready to take a shot at Joe Burrow. So I would say this is a big test for them. We'll see if they can live up to it. I also would hope that they're given plenty of help, but that's not always the case.
Yeah, well, they put with the 2 tight end set. I like that a lot. They used, and that's what I thought they were going to do, but they used Sample back there as fullback a couple times, and just for pass protection. So those are a couple things that I've liked that I really saw more of last week than I did the first week. What's your thoughts on the 2 tight end set and the tight end room in general?
I love the 2 tight end sets. That's a great way for them to play, especially when Higgins is out. But I think even when Higgins is healthy, their best personnel grouping will probably be Chase, Higgins, Sample, and All to me. Mm-hmm. If you want to put Gesicki in there instead of All, he wasn't terrible as a run blocker, but I just think you can threaten much more.
All's a beast. All's a mauler, dude. I love watching him block.
All and Sample both, they can maul as tight ends. And that's what I want to see is 2 guys that really threaten you in the run game as tight ends. And then you've got 2 all-pro level talents on the outside where you just pick your poison. Because this run game should be effective when you've got those 2 tight ends on the field. And it has been very effective with those 2 tight ends on the field. And then talking about passing the ball with those 2, I think it's either just going to be very effective run game or you're going to see some balls flying over the top to those receivers.
Hey, I'll take both, to be honest. I want some balls flying. I really am hoping we saw Burton. He did make he had 2. I think he had 2 passes. Completed the big one down the field. I'm really hoping they integrate him a little bit more and keep feeding him a little bit more to take those shots, especially if T's not in there. But I have a feeling T's going to play because he did practice today, so that bodes well for him playing. But what your thoughts on Burton? Are we as Bengal fans a little too overhyped about him, or is the hype? Can the hype be real? Can he be as good as we think he can be?
I think he can be. I think at this moment, what he's shown at the NFL level is mostly just as a vertical threat, and that's an awesome role to have. It's also a little bit limited because haven't seen him work underneath as much as you would hope. Haven't seen him run after the catch just yet. But I do think he deserves to have his role grow. When you go out there and you play in, like he did in week 2, bring home that only long ball of the game, that's like, okay, you did well in this role. Let's give you a little bit more.
Right.
We'll see with Higgins. In my opinion, also, I think he's going to play. So we'll see if they grow his role any. I think Yoshivash has his role as both really good red zone threat, and then also he's kind of their guy if they want some blocking done. They've got a bunch of role players for that wide receiver 3 spot. The issue is they've been forced to be the second wide receiver.
Right.
Yeah, but I think Burton has played well in all of his opportunities. I think he can be an awesome player. I think maybe like a little bit ahead of yourself if you think he's just going to go out there and run the full route tree and give you 10 catches for 150 yards or something. But as a deep threat, he's awesome.
Yeah, because that's the reason I think in training camp they tried to do a lot of the underneath stuff, and either he wasn't grasping the concept or whatever it was. They put that on the back burner and mostly had him just go deep routes for what I saw, which I think he could eventually do it with. If T plays and Jamar plays, then that makes is Yoshivash your 3. That's what I'm thinking.
I think so too, because I think he's the most comfortable in the offense that's played the best. Because I think that role might have been Irwin's to start the year, but he's been bad. He's been bad to start this season, and he was and unfortunately, I also felt like he was solid every time he got his opportunity before this year. So the time they need him the most, he hasn't been solid. So I think it's going to be Yoshivashi. He's the best blocker of the group. He's the biggest of that group. He's still a great athlete. I want to see some work between the 20s, but as a red zone threat, he's been awesome.
Yeah, I haven't given up on T.I. yet, but the thing that he always did is make the tough contested catches. And he's not doing that this year because people are like, oh, he doesn't get any separation. Well, he never got separation. He's not a burner. He could just make these tough ass catches, and they've been there. He just hasn't been able to bring him in this year. Hopefully that'll change moving forward. But yeah, that's it's been a little concerning for me with T.I., which I love the dude, and of course he's been on my show a couple times, so I really like him. Dustin here, got a question. Thanks for the $5 super chat. Appreciate it, brother. Says Sands, have you heard of the running back Fluff Bothwell? Off topic, but are you into the draft stuff? I encourage everyone to watch South Alabama tonight. Stud.
No, I have not. That's a great name. Fluff Bothwell is a really good name.
I've never heard of him. It's a South now. Dustin here is a football junkie. South Alabama, and he knows the running back. Like that's props right there, dude. I'm like, I know there's a South Alabama, but I didn't know I didn't know the running back, but that's props. We'll have to try to check that out tonight. So with the tight we did the wide receivers. What's your thoughts on the running game? Because with them, what I thought with the Sands, with them getting rid of Joe Mixon, I honestly thought he was going to go down to Houston and do well. I did. What he did the first week does not surprise me. I thought that Zach Moss and especially Chase Daniels would fit this Bengals offense a little more. First week, running game wasn't good. Second week got better. I feel they're on the verge of getting to that explosive play, especially with Chase Brown. What's your thoughts in general on the running game?
Yeah, I think what they look like right now is a setup to be the classic duo where Zach Moss takes the grimy, hard-working stuff to get 5 yards at a time. And hopefully he's efficient. And then Chase Brown hits the field, and he's the lightning in a bottle. You hope that he hits a big one. And right now, Chase Brown looks good when he gets the runs that he gets. I think he looks explosive. He looks like he's shot out of a cannon when he finally gets the ball. He hasn't gotten the ball enough. I think that 80-20 split was way out there. But Zach Moss is a guy they trust in pass protection right now, and he's a guy they trust to do the grimy stuff, stuff that most running backs don't get excited to get. You get a call for tight zone on a 3rd and 1. You're not busting that thing out of there for 80 yards. You're getting 2 yards, 3 yards, and then you get back up. You're probably taking a good shot from a big guy.
Right.
So I agree with how they're using them in terms of the runs they get, but I think you should dial up some more of those Chase Brown runs and give Chase Brown a screen. He was at those
exactly
last season.
Mm-hmm. That's what I've been waiting for. Get him in space and get him the ball. I want to see that because with that 22-mile-an-hour speed. He's going to get out there. That's going to be an explosive play right there. And the funny thing is, I saw a lot of screens and bubble screens in training camp. I saw that a lot, and we haven't seen it in the regular season, which is just surprising to me. But they've also done more two tight end sets than I saw them do, in training camp. I did see them do so, but especially last week, they did it a lot. And that to me, that's a new wrinkle that I think Pitch might be bringing to this offense is the tight end, the two tight end sets and the tight end room in general. Because for years we're like, Joe Burrow doesn't like throwing to the tight ends. I'm like, if you're open, I think Joe will throw it to you. So I really like that. What are the things that you're looking forward to moving on to the season, as far as you got a player you got your eye on, or scheme or anything like that you are waiting for them to develop and maybe unveil here maybe this week or next week?
They got to the shot play off that one pistol look. I was waiting for that because they showed it in the preseason. They showed it in week 1, and all they did was run the same type of concept out of it, where they motion the tight end over, he blocks out, you pull a guy around, and he leads up through the hole. They ran that exact look, and then that's the deep shot to Burton. I think you could run more out of that look, whether you're talking about sending that tight end to the flat and just they think he's going to block that end. The end's going to sit down on that, and you can just get him out in space. You run screens off of it. I want to see that develop. Definitely want to see Burton develop. I think he's probably the most talented wide receiver outside of the top 2. Absolutely. And offensively, I just want to see – I want to see more run game. I want to see them commit to it a little bit more. You might see that this week finally, but also Washington's DBs probably can be taken advantage of. Just don't want them given a ton of help. You want to see them in one-on-one scenarios. I think those would be the 3 things right now I'm looking for. And I am looking forward to finally seeing Mims when he gets out there.
Yes, I cannot wait to see him play. That's the one I'm so excited to see him play. I want to see what he can do. And I'm just in awe of how big this dude is and how athletic and how quick he is, man. Because he has seriously got some quick feet, and he's a freaking mountain. So, I mean, I'm very excited. I'm hoping, hell, I'm good if they start him this week. But, we'll see what I know it'd be a tough test, but I'm too excited. I just want to see him out there. You did mention the cornerbacks, and I want to give a shout out. I've done this like every show this week, but Cam Taylor-Brett had one of the greatest catches I've ever seen in my entire freaking life. We know how he is. What's your thoughts on Dax Hill? Because I've started training camp. I was like, I think he might be able to do this. Then farther and farther along, we got in training camp. Like, I think he's got a shot to be a pretty darn good cornerback. What's your thoughts on Dax Hill?
I think he's looked solid outside of the tackling week 1. Week 1 tackling was a huge issue with him. He couldn't bring down Stevenson. But when it comes to coverage, I think he's been good. I think he's been good out there. I also think he hasn't been tested. There's some times where it looks like if that ball got put to his side of the field, it might have got completed, but it didn't. So I have a little bit of hesitation to say that he's already good, but all the returns on balls thrown his way and most of the coverage he's had is good. So I think he looks like a solid starting corner right now. And if he can continue to be consistent with that, you're looking at quite a career change from safety to corner.
And it might be a good one. I think, and I'm a big Dax Hill guy. I really do think he has his athletic ability and everything. It's just his ball skills, which he should have had, at least 3 interceptions last year. Hopefully that gets a little better where he can actually catch the ball. Those are the things that I think he needs to work on. But I'm happy with the way that he's played, and I'm hoping he gets, he improves. It improves even more. Do you think he'll ever get to the point where he's an above average DB, or is he just going to be an average one, do you think?
No, I think he could be an above average defensive back. You're talking about a guy that changed positions and he's playing corner for the first time in his life. Right. I think he should be getting better at it as time goes on. Exactly.
All right, Sands, well, you've been on for like 47 minutes. I appreciate you, man. You're full of a ton of information. Tell everybody, excuse me, I know you're on Tuesdays, I think, with Locked On Bengals, and you got your own stuff, but plug some stuff for me before I let you get out of here.
Yeah, you can check Locked On Bengals. I am there every Tuesday usually. my own podcast. It's always Game Day in Cincinnati, and find pretty much everything on the Twitter, X, whatever, Bengals_Sands, SANS. And finally, if you don't have that, check out my articles. You do at least one a week for Cincy Bengals Talk, and that's a Sports Illustrated affiliate.
Yeah, and I do a live show every Tuesday at More on Lager House. I'd love to get you and Lindsay to stop by sometime and have you guys on there. If you're ever interested, let me know. You can tell Lindsay about that too.
Biggest issue is I'm not local.
Huh?
I'm not local, so that's my biggest issue.
Oh, you moved? I thought you were local. Have you?
No, I live in Western Pennsylvania, enemy territory.
Oh, dude.
Now.
Oh, okay. I didn't. Last time I've seen you in town, so I didn't know you're visiting. So I was like, you lived here anyway. Well, if you're in town on a Tuesday, come on down. All right, Sands. Appreciate it, bro. Take it easy.
Yep. See you. Bye.
Later. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. Sands has got a ton of information. He's a good dude to follow. If I can find my mouse here, where did it go? See, I hate when I do this. Oh, there it is. But yeah, Sands is an awesome dude. Go follow him. Go check out him and Lindsay's a podcast. And this weekend, actually, I'll put this out there. The Bengals put out a Ring of Honor video today. What was it called? Hold on. I said it to Corey. What is it called? It is called Guts and Glory. It's really cool. It's a great highlight video of Corey Dillon and Tim Krumrie, and yours truly is in it for a little bit. Cap's in there too. I highly recommend you guys go check it out on the Bengals YouTube channel. It's pretty cool, and just listening to Corey Dillon and Tim Krumrie talk about the careers and everything. And Tim Krumrie was a freaking beast, dude. I mean, he was one of my favorite Bengals. Most of the guys that go in the Ring of Honor are some of my favorite Bengals, but Tim Krumrie was just awesome. They don't make him like Tim Krumrie anymore. You will probably not see a guy like that again. His size and his speed and how many tackles he got at the nose tackle position is ridiculous. And you guys all know how I feel about Corey Dillon. That's my dude. He's awesome. It's gonna be so much fun this weekend. Like I said, Corey will be throwing out the first pitch at the Reds game this Saturday. So if you guys are wanting to get tickets to the Reds game, go down there and cheer Corey on. And I told him he better get his arm warmed up, and start throwing from the mound. See if he can get he better throw a strike. If Corey don't throw a strike, I'm gonna give him some shit about that. And then he got the alumni dinner this weekend, and like I said, Sunday we are going to. It's gonna be in the afternoon. Like I said, I don't know if we're doing something Sunday morning. And then Sunday afternoon, we'll be at Midwest Best Barbecue. So ask you guys to come join us out there. Come out there and get you some Dillionaire wings, some CTV wings, some Uno wings. The Dillionaire wings are freaking delicious. I cannot wait to eat those Sunday. I love Midwest Best, but they're like 45 minutes from my house. But that's well worth the trip. So if you guys haven't been there, like I always ask, why the hell not? Get out there to Midwest Best and tell Tim and Nicole that I sent you. But this weekend is going to be an absolute blast. I really do think I am concerned about the run defense. I mean, you have to be. It's just with the potential of not having Rankins or BJ Hill, which there's a very good chance they're not going to play. If they didn't practice today, I highly doubt they're going to play. That's just my own opinion. Hopefully I'm wrong, but we'll see. And that's where I am like, this is the game where this offense has really got to click on all cylinders and get out there and get to a 2-score lead. And I would love for a first drive of the game, long, sustained drive, I don't know, 15, 20-minute drive, go down there and get a touchdown, wear their defense out, make Jalen Daniels sit on the bench and not do anything, and just get out there and I just, honestly, the way there's so much stuff going on in this game with Corey and Krumrie. I just want this to be a nice, easy, fun win. That's what I hope we get to do. It's gonna be awesome. And if you guys have not got tickets yet, please, I'm telling you, I would love for you guys to come to this. Like I said, it's the Mercedes-Benz of Fort Mitchell at Moorline Lager House, a pregame experience. We're doing it 3 hours before the game, so it should start around 5 o'clock. Now, I tell you, it's $75. People are like, oh my goodness, $75. Okay, well, let's just say this. If you are going to the banks, and the people who go to their own tailgates and their lots, I understand that. It's going to cost you more money to come to my thing than that. But if you're going down to the banks and you're going to hang out there in the banks and drink some beers and eat some food and everything, you're going to spend at least $75. I mean, you are. I'm giving you something. Well, I'm not doing it. Moreline House is giving you something. It's $75, and you're going to get well worth your money. You can be there for 3 hours, open bar. You can get any kind of drink you want. They have a delicious spread of food there. If you guys have not been down to Moreline House, first of all, come down Tuesday. If you don't come down Monday, get you some of the food. It is some of the best food I've had. And you get all this for $75, and you're within walking distance of the stadium. And we're gonna have a live DJ there. I'll be doing my podcast there. Like I said, Corey should be showing up. Like I said, I'm 99% sure he's coming. I just haven't totally confirmed it yet. So Corey should be there. So I know that's the best place to get tickets. He might be some other places during the day. Again, I don't know, because I'll be going down there and early and trying to set stuff up and all that cool stuff. But I really, really hope you guys come down and enjoy it. This is something that's going to be big. I got some big plans for this thing, but I need your help. I need you guys to show up. I have to do it every single week. I understand. Not everybody can afford $75 every Bengals home game. But, like I said, if you go down there and you spend a whole bunch of money at the banks, spend it at the Moreline House. It will be freaking awesome. The link for the tickets, they're on my social media. Check out my Twitter, my Facebook. Check out Moreline Lager House's Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff. It's on there. It's really easy. Click the link, and you guys can order tickets. All right, let's get some questions here. What do you got? Dustin, Ice, only 2 games in, but have you seen any difference in the route trees of Justin Radscore? I don't know, coordinator, and the passing game. Have you seen any differences? I don't know about the route trees. I've seen, I'll just talk about with Jamar Chase. I've seen them move him around. Like last week, I'll put it this way, I saw them move him around a lot more. That part I liked. The route trees I haven't really paid attention to that much, to be honest with you. But I do like, and that's what I thought they could do with Jamar, with the exit of Tyler Boyd. I can see Jamar Chase, and I don't want to say him going into the Deebo Samuel role, because honestly, I think that's why Deebo gets hurt a lot, because they put him in more of a running back sometimes position than a wide receiver. But I do like Jamar in the slot, coming out of the backfield and different stuff, because every time he's in motion, it's pretty simple. If he's in motion, you can see if he's doubled or not. That makes it a lot easier. If he's in motion, he motions in the backfield, you see if 2 guys are going to follow him or not. That's the part I like that I saw last week, and I think they're going to do that even more. All right, to the Blazing. Let's see here. They made a T-shirt of Canto Brit. I did. I saw that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Cap tweeted that, and I think his mom and dad are the ones that made it. I think. I'm not positive. I know if you guys want that shirt, I retweeted it. Cap tweeted it out. So make sure you go check that out. And honestly, guys, that catch was so sick. And the thing, the more impressive part, not only did he do the one-handed catch, he did it, and he did not put this arm on the receiver. It was out. But that arm never touched the receiver. And the other thing I'll tell you, on the one where Cam got beat, if you guys watched that replay, Cam slows down. I think Cam didn't think the ball was going to him for some reason. And he still almost knocked that ball away. If Cam doesn't slow down, they don't make that play. He's there and he knocks that ball down. Again, it's a game of inches, man. There's so, if you go back and watch the game, so many different things that if this would happen, that would happen, the Bengals would have won. And that's what happens when you play 2 really good teams. And I hate that we have to always hear about the officials. It's always the officials putting them in the position to win the game. And I was listening to NFL Network today, and somebody was on there going, well, you have to make that call. You have to make that call. Like, no. You don't have to make that call, because it wasn't that egregious. He got there about the same time the ball did. Maybe a little early, but not by much. The other thing is, there was not one but two holds on that play on the Chiefs. So, sorry, if you have to make that flag on the Bengals, then you have to call the holding. And if you do that, it's offset to redo the play. But they don't call that. That's the irritating part of this. Is these guys in this, well, they have to do it. Okay, well then why didn't they call the other holds? That's what I don't get. And in the video, the ref is standing right there. And the tackle's got a chokehold on, it's either Henderson or Sam Hubbard. I think it's Henderson. He's got his arm around him, around his neck. I mean, it's so freaking blatant. It's not even funny. And that's the part that drives us Bengals fans nuts. I would rather the Chiefs make a play. There's no flags. There's nothing. All right, cool. You beat me. Cool. No problem. But when every time the last two times, well, 2 out of the last 3 times you beat us, it comes down to an official giving you a play and giving you a flag in a crucial part when there's 5 or 6 other times that they could have thrown a flag in our direction and they don't. That's the part that is irritating. That's the part where people think that it's scripted. That's the part that they think that the refs in the NFL are in the Chiefs' pocket. And it's hard to not think that as a Bengals fan when you rewatch these plays and you rewatch it. And the thing is, back to the pass interference, if you watch it in real time, it's so bang bang. You can't sit there and tell me that ref was like, he's there way early. He wasn't there that early. The holds were way more blatant. I mean, I'm fine. If you call both of them, cool. Offsetting penalties, go replay it down. At least call that. If you're going to call this play, call those holds. That's all we ask. You're going to call it? Call it. Call it both ways. Don't go, I'm going to call this because, that's pass interference, but I'm going to completely ignore the hold that's right in front of my face. That's the part that irritates us. And that's, I don't, and they never explain it. They never say anything about it. All I've heard is, I don't know why Bengals fans are upset. It was deadly pass interference. All right, cool. You want to call pass interference? Cool. What about the holds? Go back and watch the play. You can go see the holds. They're right there. And they're all over the internet. You can see them. Trust me. That's the part. And that's the part that the NFL has seriously got to fix. Because you can't have a team keep winning on what it looks like the officials are helping you. That's going to hurt your image. It's going to hurt the league. Eventually people are like, this is stupid. Why are we rooting for our team when the refs are always in the Chiefs' pockets? And Ravens fans, I'm not trying to be solidarity with the Ravens fans, but they were saying the same thing last week. The Chiefs always get the calls, which, fine, that's pass interference. Call the holds. Call the other ones. Trey Henderson got held. I think he got one holding call. He got held way more than that. He was killing that right tackle. He was killing that right tackle so bad they took him out of the game. That's how bad he was killing him. So that's the part that it's just irritating. And I don't know what to do about it other than NFL, get your head out of your ass. And referees, if you're going to call that play, call that play. You got to call it both ways. That's all I'm saying. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. I've been live streaming on ZTV Online, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. You can follow me all those along with Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. I already talked about Midwest Best. I already talked about the tailgate on Tuesdays, or excuse me, on Monday. But this is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. We had a lot of people show up this last Tuesday. I expect to have a lot more people. I'm telling you, if Corey is in town, I'm dragging his big butt there. I don't know what time he's leaving. But I hope to God the Bengals got him on a late flight so he can come to the live sports talk on Moorline Lager House this Tuesday. It's every Tuesday during football season, 6 to 8. And hey, if we get more people there, I can do this during the summertime. They'll probably keep having me come back if we start getting a lot of people there. And it might keep the happy hour going from 3 to 9. I can't beat it. $5 drafts, house wines, well drinks, $2 off appetizers. And we just come there and we have an absolute blast. It's funny, some people, I get there, and we're setting up, they're like, what the heck's going on? It's like, it's a podcast. They're like, what do you do in your podcast? I was like, it's, we talk about sports and the Bengals and stuff. What's the name of it? I'm like, that's stupid name. It's Sports Strawberry Ice. Like, oh, that's weird. I've never heard of you. I was like, oh, that's fine. You can go follow if you want. But, and they're like, okay, I will. And I get, like, me and Neil, at the end of the show last week, had a gentleman come up to us, and he said, and I appreciate when people do this, he said he really enjoyed, what we're talking about and everything, and wanted to know where he could follow me and Neil, and we both, I said, Switch to our eyes, and he, YouTube, and he said, rivals.com. So it's growing. It's going to be, I think, big. Both these things I got going on, I am working my ass off to make these as fun of events as I can. I know you guys come on the show. We have a blast here. I'm trying to do that at the Moline House. So please, if you guys could. And the Moline House on Tuesdays, it don't cost you anything. Well, I mean, whatever you eat, eat or drink, it costs you that. But you get $5 off that. Anyway. Also, check out, if you guys are looking for windows and doors, check out Meyer Windows and Doors and more at www.meyercincinnati.com for all your window and door needs. I got them in my house. Seriously, and I'm not just saying this. I literally have them in my house. And they're awesome. They're energy efficient. They're great looking windows. And they're easy to clean. They're awesome. Go check them out. Meyer Windows and Doors. Website, www.meyercincinnati.com. Also, my West Side peeps. And this is a cool place, too. I was driving by last night. There's a couple people in there. Hail Mary's your ticket to the game. It's right in the heart of Cheviot. West Side people, Cheviot is bar central. It's a great place to do a pub crawl. But please stop at Hail Mary's. They have free parking right across the street. Beer specials, food trucks, big ass TV screen. It's an awesome little bar. Please, 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 when you go to these places, please tell them I sent you. I'd appreciate it. That way they know they found out about it from me. So, anyway, guys, I think that's everything. Big John will be on tomorrow. We're going to have a fun Football Friday show. He's from Bengals Bomb Squad. And my boy Corey Dillon's going to be in Saturday. We're going to have some fun. Oh, my goodness. I cannot freaking wait, dude. This is going to be so much fun. I hope you guys enjoy your rest of your day. I'll see you tomorrow. And that's just sports, baby. See ya!
They still gotta play us. Let's go, baby. Woo!
Hey, don't run that ball on the one Hubbard, showed you how that go down. Feeling like Santino, tell him we want all the smoke now. We ain't snooping that commercial, we don't put no smoke down. Plus we back and you can't hide, so it ain't nowhere safe to go now. And we always gon' turn up in that jungle every time. How we ain't gon' win when we loaded in with 9? Plus T just came in signed, so the city gon' be fine. Jamar say he open every time and he ain't never lied. Look at how we win at it, the size of the old line. Giving Burrow extra time should be a federal crime. Hey, we right back on that path again. Put the division back to the test, they won't pass again. Orlando and Trent Brown, that's the Tower Twins. Feel like we only getting better as we stacking wins.
And we stacking.
Giuseppe in for 6, that's a gritty again. AFC North battles getting gritty again. It's Yoshi second year, we just brought Burton in. Vaughn back to ring some bells, get the cracking again.